Hello everyone, I'm FMZ and this is An Englishman Abroad, episode 32. Today we've got a few new signings to introduce. The January transfer window has closed and we've got our usual roundup of fixtures to go through. Run the intro. So January has been a busier month than anticipated. Let's start with the outs. You can see the ins, but I'm going to go through the outs first. And we start with Johnny Evans. He has gone to Southampton for a fee of £3.2 million. Was complaining about the lack of football, and I decided that he was surplus to requirements. Another player that was surplus to requirements was Nampalys Mendy. He has gone to Reading for £7.75 million. Another player that wasn't happy that he wasn't playing football, so was allowed to leave. Bit of a shame this next one. Mohamed El Neni has gone to Juventus on loan with a view to them taking him off our hands for £18.65 million. He wanted to go to Juventus. He was very angry when I turned them down initially. They came back in for him and he was allowed to leave. We let Danny Ward go to Tottenham for £625,000. Another player who wasn't happy that he hadn't had a first team opportunity. In fairness, Kasper Schmeichel's been doing pretty well, so there was no real need for him to jump the queue, so he was allowed to leave. And lastly for the outs, it's Damari Gray, and he has gone to Newcastle on loan for the rest of the season. We've got enough wide players in the squad, and he wasn't really getting the game time, so again, another player that wanted to go, so he was allowed to go. I don't like to keep players that are not very happy at the club. So we've already mentioned Jayden Bogle coming in. That was in the last episode. Let's take a look at the other four, starting with Pau Lopez. He has been bought in for £6.25 million from Real Betis. It was something we tried to do in the summer as the third choice goalkeeper. We bought in Nathan Baxter instead, but Lopez has now been bought in to challenge Kasper Schmeichel. There was an offer come in for Schmeichel during the January transfer window, so it's an eye to the future as well. Pau Lopez will eventually become the number one keeper. I mentioned Damari Gray going out on loan to Newcastle. Alex Iwobi has been bought in from Arsenal to kind of replace him, but to kind of give more competition on that left-hand side. Obviously, Rebic has been in and out of the team, injured quite a lot recently. So he was a player that we had an eye on in the summer. Didn't really want to do it then because we'd already brought in a couple of wide players, so now decided to go ahead with it. Another person bought in was Alessandro Murgara, bought in from Lazio for a fee of around about £22 million. One for the future, this one as well. A player that I like the look of and was not going to let go to another club in the January window, so we snapped him up now rather than waiting for the summer, with a view to getting him in, getting him used to the club, with the hope of him carrying on next season. And last but not least, we mentioned about another left back in the last episode. We filled that void with Greg Taylor, bought him from Kilmarnock. As I've already mentioned, I'm not too keen on Masuaku, so it will be decided in the summer really whether we decide to keep him or not. So we start today's match roundup following the win over Huddersfield to take us through to round 4 of the FA Cup. It's a 3-1 defeat at Newcastle. Let's take a look at the goals from it. Started so well for us. Dennis Mann put us in front on 24 minutes. Little tap in at the far post. Newcastle pegged us back pretty much straight away. Danny Drinkwater plays it out wide to Yedlin, who plays it into the box for Matet to score. And he slams it into the net for 1-1. Then Newcastle really came strong in the last 10 minutes or so. Bit of poor defending coming up here from Masuaku. Doesn't get goal side of his man Matet. Amazing pay for it. And they wrapped up the win with about 7 minutes to go. Perez with the ball into the box. Bruma unmarked at the far post. And he slammed the ball into the net to give Newcastle a 3-1 win. We then followed that up with a goalless draw in the FA Cup 4th round against Aston Villa. Despite dominating the game, we could not find a goal, so it was another replay to come for us. And you'll see that in a few minutes. We did get back to winning ways in the Premier League with a 1-0 win over Watford. Jamie Vardy with a goal. Let's take a look at his goal. So it was good work from Jamie Vardy. Harry Maguire through to Diop onto Rebic, who played it to Jamie Vardy at the edge of the box, and he slammed it in the corner to give us a 1-0 win over Watford. We followed that up with a 3-0 away win at West Ham. Let's take a look at the goals from it. So Barak put us in front early doors. Good work from Jamie Vardy at the byline. Barak with the cool, calm finish into the net for 1-0. We wrapped it up very late in the day. Mazuaki with the free kick. Barak off the bar. Boyata with the second goal. And then Bogle with a good run through for number 3. Played it through to Rebic, who slammed it into the net to give us a wonderful win at the Olympic Stadium against West Ham. We keep doing things the hard way in the FA Cup this season, but we did qualify for round 5 with an away win at Aston Villa. Jamie Vardy with a goal again. Let's take a look at it. So it's a good one from Dennis Mann down the right hand side through to Harvey Barnes, who had come into the game for this one. Played it into the middle. Vardy stroked it into the net for 1-0, and we'll see who we play in round 5 of the FA Cup in a sec. And lastly, for today's roundup of fixtures, a 2-0 win over Stoke City. You've noticed in the last couple of games that we've had a change in formation. It has brought a change in luck, playing 5 at the back. Let's take a look at the goals from Vardy and Gomez. So Vardy's first on the stroke of half-time. Bit of lapse in concentration from Bauer, seized upon by Vardy, and Bentley with not covering himself in glory as well. And we wrapped it up late in the day. Alex Iwobi with the run through, plays it through to Gomez, who really couldn't miss from where he was, but he powered it into the net to give Leicester a 2-0 win over Stoke. So it's been a good roundup for us. 3 wins in the Premier League have moved us back into the European places on 41 points, ahead of Wolves on goal difference and ahead of Tottenham by a point. Our reward for beating Aston Villa is to welcome Crystal Palace in round 5. So we've met the objective to reach the 5th round. We are now looking to go a lot further in the FA Cup. It may be our only option into Europe this year. I would imagine Tottenham will come strong with 13 games to play. Looking down the Premier League table, Leeds are still bottom. Blackburn are still second from bottom. Newcastle have dropped back into the bottom 3 despite beating us earlier in the episode. So it's been a good roundup for us. Pleased with that. The change in shape has brought a change in luck and a change in the results as well. We were starting to flag a little bit. Hopefully the new blood that has come in will give us a bit more impetus as well. There were a lot of players that were looking to move out in January. They've all been moved on. We've brought in players to hopefully improve the squad and to take us forward into the European places at the end of the season, so we can qualify for Europe next year. That is the plan. If you've enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel but like to do so, please click the subscribe button down in the corner. That was episode 32 of An Englishman Abroad, a Journeyman Story. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.